Hello. What is going on, my loves? Welcome to Unleashing Her. This is the podcast that's dedicated to self-love and self-discovery. I'm your host, Tasia Renee. That would be me. And I'm back, and we're going to talk about it. If you're new here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, send up a like. You know what I'm saying? Just a little about me. We can go on, but just a little about me if you're new here. I'm Tasia Renee, and I am an author, self-published author of the book Just Manifested, which came from me going through sexual assault and how I overcame that, depression and social anxiety. Because if we talking about it, girl, I got it. All right. So from me writing my book, after I released it, I started this podcast, and that was I released my book over 2 years ago. So yeah, from that birthed this podcast of Unleashing Her, where I just really want to help women overcome and unlock their full potential of who they are, and just let them know that, you are not your situation. You're not your sexual assault. You're not your depression. You're not your anxiety. We can absolutely turn our pain into power. Okay? So that is me. That's what I'm all about. For those of you who have been here, hello and welcome back. It's been about, oh my God, 3 months since I've done an episode of my podcast, and we're gonna get into that today. We're gonna get into why it's been so long. I've had people hitting me up in my DMs like, Tasia, where you been? Where's Mental Health Monday? What are you doing? Y'all, I got all the answers. I promise you, I'm going to spill the tea today. One thing about me is I am an open book, and I would rather tell you about myself and my business before anybody else does. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But I did want to welcome y'all and thank you for being here. And yeah, let's get into Mental Health Monday. I'm going to first talk about Mental Health Monday and where that comes from. So Unleashing Her, if you don't know, I'm going to every other Monday, I'm going to be dropping an episode on Spotify, and then I will also be dropping on YouTube as well, videos for you guys to physically see me. Because if you don't know, I've been on Station Head, and shout out to Station Head, met some really dope creators and everything. I have been on Station Head for about a year. Prior to that, I was on AMP, and it was just a great community, great group of people. Definitely pushed me and motivated me and gave me the kick in the butt to like actually for real start taking podcasting seriously and actually hone in on my craft, especially when sometimes you have a vision or you have something for yourself and you want to do it, but you don't know if people are going to relate to you or if they're even going to get it. So AMP and Station Head was definitely the place for me to get comfortable with sharing my story, with allowing people to be transparent with them, and them also being transparent with me. I love that community so much. And so I had started Mental Health Monday, just wanting to hear other people's stories, and just I was trying to find like my groove and like how I wanted to structure my show, how I wanted to format it. And I had started off doing that on AMP and Station Head, and then I don't know where along the lines, but I got distracted, and it totally turned into something that I never wanted. I'm talking about beef with people on the app. One thing about it is I do not beef with people I don't know in real life. I am a firm believer of protecting my peace. I work too hard to get to this place to allow people that do not physically, like I don't know them, I can't see them, touch them, anything like that. Like I don't have any real relationship with you to govern my peace or like make me feel some type of way. And so it had started to get to a point where it was it was getting to my mental health. I was like irritated. Like I could tell that I was irritable, and I was like, this is not the environment that I wanted, you know, my podcast, or the direction that I wanted my podcast to go into. So if y'all don't know, I will no longer be on Station Head. I think I've kind of like said that before, but I'm just making that clear to my audience, to the people who did follow me on there, and to, you know, the community that I did have over there. That's just not where I want to be. I feel like that environment, without bashing it, because I love the community over there, but it just wasn't conducive to what I wanted to do and what I wanted to continue to do with my brand. So that leads us to the rebrand. That's literally today's episode. The title is Rebranding Unleashing Her. I'm gonna talk about how I had to embrace the growth, isolation periods, and as y'all know, I'm a self-reflector, so we're always gonna talk about self-discovery. I'm always gonna throw that in, and we're gonna talk about it. So the rebrand of Unleashing Her came from me literally saying, like, this environment of where I'm doing my podcast is not conducive to, it's not good for my mental health. And so I immediately started to do what I do best, go into isolation mode, and try to really get back to who I was as a creator. Because I've been in television, media, anything that has to do with a camera and a mic in front of me. People who know me from back home in Denver, Colorado know that I've done Locals Only. I've done Teens Talk with Tasia. I have always just been submerged in some type of media. I was a photographer for years. So any type of media, and just any way that I could create, I've always just had that knack to just want to create. And so I went back into doing what I do best, which is, where do you want to go? You know, let's get back to the basics, because the show has gone completely far, and it was to the point where it was some products I have went back and listened to, and I was like, I would never want anybody else, if this is their first time discovering me on any social platform that I'm on, and this is the episode that comes up, oh no. And so when it got to that point, I really just started to rethink my brand, rethink what I wanted Unleashing Her to actually mean, and what it meant to me, and also what it's going to mean to other young ladies, you know, in the future. And so from there came I got into my creative bag, and I started, you know, going back to my roots. What was Unleashing Her about? Well, it's about women, and it's about them sharing their stories, and not only you sharing how you overcame sexual assault and depression and social anxiety, but it's also about you reaching out and you telling other women, you know, there's a space for you. Unleashing Her is a safe space for women to come and share their stories and share how they got on the other side of through, and how they got to be stronger than ever. And so once I got back to the basics, you know, I got my mission statement back in my head, and it's glued, and I'm in there. I'm locked in now. I'm locked in. I started to plan out my photo shoot. I started to plan out my photo shoot. And if you know me, you know I've never been in front of the camera. I've only done one photo shoot my whole life, and it was with my godchildren. And so that was easy. But as far as like me, my brand, anything, I had not done a photo shoot. And so I got to thinking, how do I want to look? Like, what do I want to look like? What do I want the feel to be? What do I want the mood to be? And so I consumed myself with a mood board. That's one thing. I'm gonna give y'all an advice. If you want to rebrand your business, your podcast, yourself, your wardrobe, whatever it is, start with Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I think people sleep on Pinterest because they're like, oh, it's not too much. No, the girls that get it, and the girls that don't, go make you a Pinterest account, because I promise you it will give you so much inspiration. And if you start working with the right people, I promise you they will make it come to life. So I got on Pinterest and I started looking at what I want my podcast to look like, what I want to look like, what I want my new style to go into. I started working with before I had got my other position at another job. I had worked with this young lady by the name of Jazz. Shout out to Jazz. And we worked at this retail store, and I was just looking at her and I was like, I know she can style. So shout out to Jazz. She helped me bring, you know, my style. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I will, somewhere in this video, I'll post the pictures. I got with her, came up with some ideas, some concepts, sent her my mood board. She was able to, you know, inspire me in the where I wanted my clothing to be. And then I got with Shop by Flashy. Shout out to him. I literally just went on Instagram and I typed in Detroit photographers, because if y'all don't know, I just recently moved to Detroit. It'll actually be a year as of today. Yeah, today. It's a year today. I moved to Detroit, so I reached out to him. Awesome dude. Super, made me feel super comfortable, super confident. I told him, I'm like, look, this is my first time in front of the camera. I'm usually behind the camera, you know what I mean? And he was super cool, super laid back environment, loved the music. It was super dope. And so from there, I just started to rebrand Unleashing Her. I got with some young ladies. I let them know what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So moving forward, definitely have some great content set up for you guys. Some dope interviews with some amazing, when I say amazing women, I can't wait for y'all to just hear their stories and hear some of the things that they've been through, and just they can just share their inspiration, because even in the conversations that I've already had with them, it's just so amazing. And I want to move on to the first topic of discussion, in isolation in rebranding. I did speak on it a little bit about me just isolating and me taking a step back from certain social settings, certain people, and certain things, even at home. Like, I was so just detached from even my family and friends. Like, I don't want to talk right now. I don't want to pick up the phone. I just went into this mode before the rebrand. I went into this mode of like, I don't really feel like it. What I did to kind of get out of that was I had to go to therapy. And if y'all don't know, I told y'all that I've gone to therapy a couple of times. But this time was a little bit different. I'm in Detroit. I only have family out here. My friends are in Denver and in Texas and in different areas. And so I was like, I need therapy. Like, simple as that. I need to go to therapy. Like, I'm in this mode. I'm feeling unmotivated. I'm feeling like I don't even want to do this podcast no more. So I need something. I need a pick me up or something. So I started to go to therapy. Shout out to my therapist, De'Ara. She is so dope and so understanding. And I hope she doesn't care about me dropping her name right here. But I started going to therapy, and I really started to, and one thing I will tell y'all about going to therapy, don't go to therapy if you're not going to be honest. If you're not going to be honest with your therapist, then you're only doing yourself a disservice, because the therapist doesn't know you. So you really have to get to a point in your journey where you're like, you know what, as hard as it is, as much as it may hurt me, or as much as it may make me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to be honest with myself. That's another thing. All about healing journey. It's not meant to be easy. It's definitely meant to make you uncomfortable. You're not supposed to feel comfort if you're trying to change. And so I had went into therapy like, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be open. I'm not going to leave anything off the table. because I really want help. Like, I really want to be the best version of myself. And so once I made that kind of pact with myself, I kind of was like, all right, we locked in with each other. Like, we here. Okay, girl, we here. Once I made that, therapy was honestly a lot easier than it was the prior 2 times. I think the prior 2 times that I went to therapy, I was never, I can honestly say that I was never honest with myself. And I wanted to kind of keep an image of something that I wasn't. And I didn't want anyone that didn't know me to judge me, but I wanted them to feel like, oh, well, why the hell is she in therapy if everything is fine, you know? And that's ultimately what it came to. And so therapy definitely helped me, now is helping me understand certain habits, certain triggers, certain insecurities, blocks that interfere with my growth. But I think with me being honest with myself and me being self-aware, I'm definitely getting to know before those things happen, before those triggers or emotions happen. I'm definitely aware. That's what I would say. I'm definitely more aware. I kind of have a audience reflection for y'all. I want to ask y'all a question. And y'all can let me know down in the comments. Have you ever felt the need to just take a break from social settings or people to focus on personal growth? And I want to know how that impacted you. Because if you are a very social person, does your social battery ever die? You know, I know for me, it definitely does. I get to a point where I could be super hyped up and super amped up, you know, to just be around people, and then my social battery just depletes and I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not doing that. Also, you know, with my creator friends, when it comes to taking a break from social media, I know with me doing the rebrand of Unleashing Her, I wanted so badly to delete Instagram and to delete Facebook and all of these things, but something in me it was like, no, I wanted to stay relevant. I don't want to, because I have taken so many breaks in between podcasting and just different things, because y'all know life be lifing. It really be lifing. And so I'm just like, no, I have to stay relevant. I have to do this. I have to do that. And you know, there was a week where I was just like, I'm not getting on social media, period. Like, I can't, mentally, I can't take this. And so I want y'all to let me know down in the comments, what are some ways that you all cope with that, especially my creator friends or people who, you know, have podcasts or create content or different things like that. How do you all you know, cope with, or how do y'all feel when it comes to taking a break from social media, but also having that thought in the back of your head, like, I don't want to be gone too long to where, you know, I lose my audience or I get, you know, I'm not relevant. Not relevant, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I'm saying. You definitely know what I'm saying. Going back to therapy and kind of the healing process of all of that, I had to really embrace vulnerability. I think a lot of the times in rebranding yourself or just rebranding anything in your life, you have to be vulnerable and you have to be transparent. And that's why I'm here, you know, with y'all. I'm, like I said in the beginning, I'm an open book. I'm never not gonna own up to things that I've did or things that I've said. And it really comes with, you know, it involves confronting your past and, you know, letting go of outdated versions with yourself. I think on one of my shows back in October of last year, I forget how we were speaking on it, But I had made mention to like, oh, I just want to get back to the old me. Like, I want to get back to the old me so bad. Like, I want to be, you know, where everything was cool and everything was fine, where I didn't have these thoughts of, you know, suicide, or where I didn't have these mental panic attacks or anything like that. Like, I was just like, I just want to go back to the old Tasia. And then I remember some weeks like going back and listening to my show, and Holy Ghost just told me, he was like, you're never gonna be the old Tasia. And I was like, that was kind of harsh. Like, dang, that was rude. Because that's how I took it. Like, what you mean I'm never gonna be the old Tasia? Once he said that, I kind of started to think, and I'm like, no, you're right, because the old Tasia was never sexually assaulted. The old Tasia was never in a domestic violence relationship. The old Tasia was never, and I just started kind of going down the list, and it was at that moment that I realized, I'm like, I have to learn to love this new, amazing, smart, resilient, brilliant woman that I'm becoming. And it was at that moment that I was like, you're right. I'm never going to be the old Tasia again. I'm never going to be here. And to be honest, I really wish I could give her a hug. I wish I could tell her everything's going to be fine. Like, you are resilient. You're going to get on the other side of through. Please don't kill yourself because it's not worth it. Like, you have better days ahead. And so, that's my advice for y'all, is just understand and know that you'll never get back to that old you of, you know, and I know we all have those thoughts. I just want to go back to the old me. Just understand that you'll never go back to the old her, ever. But what you can do is let the old you know that the me right here that's in front of you is brilliant, and we made it through. And just learn to love and embrace yourself every single day, because every day is a journey. Every day is something new that you can teach yourself, and that we can all, you know, learn from. And just love on yourself. I always used to say at the end of my episodes, like, be kind, allow yourself grace. I think that is the biggest thing. We don't allow ourselves grace. Give yourself grace and give yourself the opportunity to grow. Once we do that, you really kind of put your head at focus and be like, you know what? I'm okay. Everything gonna be okay. Everything is going to be okay. I do want to encourage you all to ask yourself, what are some areas of my life that need rebranding? And then also just ask yourself, am I giving myself the time and the space needed to pursue that transformation? That could be a journal prompt for this week, you know? Am I giving myself the time and the space that I need to pursue my dreams, to get to my goals? Whether that's making sure, you know, you have a cool work-life balance, you know what I mean? You're not putting too much work over into your passions, or, you know, whatever that looks like for you. I just want to remind y'all that rebranding, it takes courage. It really does take courage for you to look at the version of yourself that you are and be like, you know what? Nobody's perfect, but I can definitely fix some things here and there in my life. I also want to encourage you guys that it's okay to take a step back, redefine yourself, and emerge stronger than ever. I think that was one of the things that I really wanted to hone in with you guys, that it's okay to simply take a step back from your friends and from your family, and to kind of go into that isolation period and be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it for me. And when I come back, I'm gonna be bigger, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna be stronger, than ever, because I do want to be the best version of myself for my family, for my friends. I want to be the best mother, daughter, wife, friend, cousin, you know, all of those things. And so I really do want to encourage you all that if you are struggling with rebranding your business, rebranding yourself, if you just felt like you needed a break, I want to encourage you to do that, because it's good for your mental health. Don't run yourself worried and tired and, you know, thinking that you have to continue to do this and push. If it's mentally draining you, take a step back. It's okay to do that and to come back better than ever, because mental health matters. So give yourself grace, allow yourself to grow, and just know you that girl. You are her, okay? That's all I have for y'all today. You have to stay tuned and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to be notified of when I go live and when I post content. I promise y'all, this season of Unleashing Her is called Healing. And when I tell y'all we healing, we are healing. We're telling our stories. We're not being quiet about it. We're being loud. And I just can't wait for y'all to hear all the guests and hear their stories. So with that being said, I love you guys. Allow yourself grace. Say it with me. Grace and the opportunity to grow. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I love you guys.